Welcome back to the Cherry Picking Fantasy Hockey podcast presented by Owner's Box. Another mock draft today. Exciting stuff. We're getting closer to the season, but we have big news. We are announcing that we will do a giveaway, but you guys will have to work first. We need to get 300 likes on a video, and we will do a giveaway. So make sure you smash that like button. If we hit 300, we will announce a big giveaway for every single Cherry Picking viewer. Anyways, today, Yahoo Standard League scoring categories. What do we think, fellas?
Yeah, we're doing a mock draft. The categories are goals, assists, plus minus, penalty minutes, power play points, shorthanded points, game-winning goals, shots on goal, face-offs won, hits, blocks, and then for goalies, games started, wins, goals against average, saves, save percentage, and shutouts. So you need well-rounded players for this type of league.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, so you're looking for, instead of points league, pretty high, I guess, scoring type of format. This is more of a, I guess you're looking for a more balanced. I don't really change my strategy much in the first few rounds here.
One thing that's kind of important is if you know you're going to punt some stats, just if you're going to take guys who don't hit, just don't take guys who hit at all, because you're just going to kind of be wasting that draft slot you have. Point.
I agree. Punting certain categories is definitely a strategy in this. So do you think that hitting is probably the biggest one you're going to punt? Plus minus is another one. And I know not many leagues, I guess, do plus minus, but the standard is plus minus. That's a category I find myself usually punting year after year.
The thing is, it's also head to head, so it's not a rotisserie. So you do just play weekly matchups at the categories. So if you punt, you can still win other weeks at that stat, but it's not like the whole season's wasted. That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. If you're following what I'm saying.
No, I agree.
Just knowing the value for your team is very different than value for other teams. I think that's just something to key in on. You can't just go, oh, this guy fell. Maybe for your team he doesn't work. You'd rather take someone who's a bit deeper in.
I agree. I think that it's really based off who you're drafting is a key here with categories, because the best guy on the board might be terrible for your team, might completely go against what you're trying to build.
There's also a ton of luck involved in categories like game-winning goals and shorthanded goals. Like you can't really plan for those categories.
All right, so team one is going here. We got a few, I guess, guys who aren't in our circle here, so be aware. Connor McDavid won, no surprise.
Yeah, I feel like at one, like no matter what league you're in, it's just you go Connor McDavid. It's just the easiest pick almost in any sport. So you get to 3. Got my kind of pick at the litter. Might be an unpopular choice. I'm going with Vasilevsky for a Cats league.
Whoa. Wow.
I know there's a bit of a sentiment here about kind of not taking goalies and kind of going away from them.
We're the zero goalie guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So in categories leagues, I am not the zero goalie guy. And it's all about the points leagues. In categories league, Gianni's right. You can't afford to lose that save percentage.
Yeah, you pretty much lose your week.
Yeah.
It's also, there's so few goalies who are actually going to give you that many games. You want to take a guy who's safe for save percentage. He's going to get you shutouts, which are just the rarest thing to get. The only thing you might lose out on a bit is maybe a few saves here and there, just because Tampa's a tighter defensive team. But every other cast just going to make it up for you.
I think there's a big gap this year. I think it's one of the biggest gaps we've seen between the number 1 goalie and the number 2 goalie. I think that's crucial. I think that gap is just got a little bigger this year.
Yeah.
Ave goes Makar early. He's usually going around 11 or 12. What do we think of that?
I think Ave probably knows I wanted Makar, so he went with Makar. But it was a great pick.
Okay. Do you like him more in a points league or category league?
I like him in both types of leagues. I mean, you don't want to have the best defenseman, right? Okay, my pick here might be a little out there, but I don't think I'm going to punt hits, so I'm going to go with Ovechkin here.
Wow. Okay. So
it's him or Pasternak.
Committing to hits here, going with Ovi.
And he gets a lot of shots. Okay. And he's a winger, which is the most rare position.
Just builds up Cats.
Yeah, Cats and goals, Hopefully he's not 40, and hopefully he has a great season.
Well, I mean, other than last year, too, he's never really been that injured, so he's probably pretty safe just to, every game just rack it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a guy that I love, and that's Pasta.
Yeah, he's great. Better for points, but still first round in categories.
Do you have any concerns about
Pasta.
around Pasta?
He was a must-avoid player.
It was a
Yeah.
must-avoid.
But then again, we were talking about him going like 6'7". So
Yeah.
technically I got him at a pretty good price.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're not doing just a straightforward league, like a winger is probably more valuable in this type of league.
I will say in a categories league, you need to do more research than you do going into a points league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to decide what categories you're focusing on, what players you're targeting each round.
Yeah. Do you think there's more research done in a categories league compared to a points league?
Yeah, that's what I just
Yeah.
said.
Is that what you just said? But how much more research do you think?
You
though?
need to do a lot. Like you need to.
I guess there's different strategies.
You can't just look at rank or projections. You have to really know when a guy should be taken for your team and which guys you should avoid.
Yeah.
And depending on, like, let's say your league takes out plus minus, takes out penalty minutes.
Yeah, then it gets-
the draft room won't really take that out for you. So you need to be ready to do your own research on what player should go next.
All right. I'm going to go Barkov here.
You said we're counting face-offs, right?
Yeah, face-offs one.
That's a big money pick with Barkov then.
Apparently it's part of the Yahoo standard scoring.
I've never actually played in a league that's actually done face-offs. I know it's pretty popular, though, actually.
Yeah.
If you're really going for face-offs, like sometimes the best players to take are the ones who play center and wing because you can just rack them up for free almost. You can kind of
That's
stack
true.
more centers.
Yeah, you got that right. The eligibility is
Oh,
huge
I'm up
there.
here. I mean, maybe I'll just corner the hits market. I'm going to go with Brady Tkachuk.
I like that pick a lot.
Yeah.
I'm in a league, and I can tell you right now, Brady Tkachuk's going top 5 in our league. We really value hits. We value shots. He's just a guy. He's like almost like not quite Ovi's level because Ovi can score just way more goals, but just the amount of stats that guy racks up is crazy.
Yeah.
Brody tell me he's like the anti-Petrangelo. His fantasy value is just so much better than his actual value,
Yes.
where people just kind of sleep on him.
That's a great point with Petrangelo. It's more about his name value than his real fantasy value.
Let's see what Abe goes here. I have to go Makar. Who's he pairing him up with? Braden Point.
Okay.
Braden Point. I'm surprised, actually. We talked about goalies. We haven't seen the second goalie go off the board here, and it's the second round. Still haven't seen a goalie go. I'm kind of shocked by this, to be honest. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Who do you
Leonard
guys
or
have
Kemper?
ranked as like the second goalie in a type of like in a Cats league?
It's still Kemper,
I think, yeah, Darcy Kemper.
His injury history scares me. I really like Hellebuck every year. Just I think he's so
That's
good.
true. He's going to
Gets
get
a
you
lot
the
of
shots, too.
Yeah.
That's why I worry about Kemper a little bit.
This might be a little high for this guy, but Andrei Svechnikov,
Jeez.
versatility on both the wings, gets a lot of shots, does throw the body a bit. I think he is poised for a bit more of a breakout this year. He just shows so much all the time. He's just growing really well. That's just one of those guys. I just really like the way he plays.
I think
Okay.
I saw something this morning about him skating with PP1 and line 1. So I think Carolina's been shifting those lines. Like, no one really knows what to expect there. John Carlson goes. Second D off the board.
Robin Lehner went second
Yeah.
goalie off.
A lot of people are high on Leonard this year with Fleury leaving.
Also interesting to see that in this draft room, it does not list blocks or face-off percentage next to the players.
Interesting.
So again, I'm gonna try to go with all the unpopular picks, but I'm taking Hellebuck in the third round.
Okay.
So you're really...
Wait, you're going to go 2 goalies already?
Yeah, I'm locking up. I'm cornering it. Nobody's gonna be beating me on shutouts, on saves.
Okay.
It's one
not,
of those.
It's not a bad strategy. He pretty much locks in those categories in every matchup.
It's risky. It's risky, but
There's like, how many? There's like 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like 10 at least categories for skaters, though, and only 6 for goalies. So you still have to win the majority of the skater categories to win your matchup.
again, that's kind of the risk you just take with it. If you can find more those depth guys who just build up shots and hits and they don't really get a lot of points,
Yeah.
you might be able to just kind of steal categories every now and then.
Matthew Chuck goes with Avery. I do love that pick for categories.
Yeah. I'm going to go thinking center here. And I think I'm going to go with Patrice Bergeron, another guy that really contributes to a bunch of categories here in the third round. That's not a pick that's going to blow anybody away, but
No. I mean, for face-offs, that's You seem to be going really for those face-offs.
Well, that's my first center. So I have Bergeron, Ovechkin, and Kachuk. So I'm going for face-offs with Bergeron and the goals, and then the hits and shots with Ovechkin and Kachuk for sure.
I am going to go with someone who can contribute to pretty much everything, and that's Pacioretty.
You love Pacioretty.
I just think that he's undervalued. The guy shoots the puck so much. He's always in the top 10, like pretty much in shots every year almost.
Yeah.
He's the main shooter on that power play too.
Yeah. Great goal scorer as well. He'll get me power play points. I think I'm looking goalie here.
I've been thinking goalie here.
I am going to go with the Rangers goalie.
Shesterkin? Yeah.
That's a good one. I think he's one of those guys too that's really primed for a really good season this year.
Especially with the Rangers. Like, I think they should be pretty good this year.
Yeah, they should have been better last year too, but they kind of figured things out a bit later.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I'm up here. I'm going to go with Mark Stone for one of my right wing spots. I have gotten away from my heavy defenseman strategy.
Yeah. Is this something just because you commit? This is the thing we talked about strategy. You committed to the hit, so...
Yeah, well, I mean, I think with Ovechkin and Kachuk, it's going to be hard to beat me on hits in the forward positions. But
I think, though, you could get some heavy-hitting defensemen later.
Yeah.
Which will help your strategy.
I like a lot of defensemen still on the board here. They haven't been going too fast, so...
Quinn Hughes
seems like Avery was hearing what we were talking about there with Petrangelo.
Quinn Hughes is someone I do not like for this scoring strategy at all.
Yeah, he doesn't rack up hits or shots a lot. He's just an assist machine.
Yeah. So if you, I mean, he's an assist. That's a category.
I think
points is a category.
But how high? Like how high? I mean, yeah. Like he's going at what? What's his average? Like ADP? He's going probably in the fourth
round. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'd take a draft pick like that and pick him.
This one might be a little bit off the board too. I'm going Dougie Hamilton.
No, it's perfect. Most shots.
Yeah, most shots. I think he's going to get a lot of goals, get a lot of opportunity on that power play one with Jack Hughes.
Who I wouldn't have taken if I didn't take Stone.
I think we're starting to hit like a next tier of players where before this, you're kind of just going, these guys are, you know how good they are. And now you're kind of trying to get to that more specialized, here's the categories I really care about.
Yeah.
Really wish they would show blocks here in the draft room. So I'm going to estimate it. Who's gritty, who gets in front of some shots here with these defenders.
I worry a little bit about Dougie Hamilton, that plus minus.
Yeah, that's a big worry on that team. But if the first or second line can be really good, then the rest of the team can suck.
Yes.
Dougie Hamilton can have a good enough year, and just if everybody else isn't carrying their weight, then...
It's another thing I forgot to mention about Bergeron is if you have plus minus, like he's plus 25.
That whole
30.
line past
Yeah.
Those guys just dominate. Who are we thinking here, Gianni?
I'm really trying to I'm looking at the cats I'm picking up. I'm taking Darnell Nurse.
That's a ton of cats.
You know, I'm going with I have Svechnikov, Hamilton, Nurse, clearly going for those shots, trying to get power play points. You know, maybe not so many assists as goals, but that's just kind of you got to kind of pick your battles in this.
Yeah, I know a couple seasons ago, I think it was not this season that just passed, but the one before, Nurse was top 3 in my league in the categories league, and that's before he had his big breakout last year.
Charlie McAvoy, a guy who can contribute to everything. I think he's definitely a better categories player than points league player.
Yes. Okay, so I'm taking Roman Josi. Such a quick pick here. Tons of shots, plus minus, goals and assists. Big bounce back coming from Josi.
Yeah, the plus minus was a little rough last year.
But
everyone on that Predators team took a hit, which wasn't really expected, to be honest. I didn't expect it, that's for sure.
Team should be better this year, though. I think his plus minus will bounce back in a big way.
Let's see who I should pick here.
I don't even have the forwards open at this point in the draft. In these like 4 to 7 rounds, it's only the defensemen. Yeah. I'm not even taking a look at any forwards here.
I'm going to go Seth Jones here.
Real, I had him on my board. I was thinking this might have been a bit early for him, but...
I think looking at who's going here, I think Seth Jones, I like him better in category leagues. I think that he's going to get a lot of power play time. He's never been like a crazy point guy.
Yeah.
So I think that if he can contribute, like his shots, his hits are going to be up. I like his plus minus with Chicago.
Should be on power play 1 too.
Yeah, he is projected to be on power play 1.
Not playing behind Werenski.
No. I am going to go with another defenseman that shoots a ton, and that's Drew's guy.
Oh no, that was about to be my pick in 2 picks.
I know Drew loves Chychrun.
I love
He does.
Chychrun. Also, if you, I know that he gets over 100 hits and blocks on average. So, great pick for this league. Goals too from the defending spot.
Lots of shots too.
Gold. All right, so I'm deciding between a couple defenders here, very similar profile, Shea Theodore and Chris Letang. I'm gonna side with not Chris Letang, Shea Theodore, because he has less injury risk and more shots, and that's just the tiebreaker. And now they both get power play points.
All right, let's see what Avery goes. Rupe Hintz.
Yep. That was the other guy, the third guy I had in my queue if I did want to go forward there.
It's a good pick.
Kind of surprised Rupe Hintz goes, and still seeing Tyler Seguin on the board. I've had him in my queue for a little bit. Might have to take him.
Rupe Hintz, point per game last year, though.
Yeah.
Do we see a fallback, though?
Is he going to get the same opportunity? Yeah.
I did see some advanced analytics that Jason Robertson was actually the one driving offense on that line.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they stick together, I think they'll be a dynamic duo.
So speaking of Dallas Stars, going Tyler Seguin, with my pick so far, I'm pretty much punting faceoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to go straight for that shot on goal. Just try to pick up goals, ignore assists, ignore faceoffs. Maybe care not so much about plus minus. I'm starting to see where my draft is rounding out.
In leagues like this, do you ever look at guys like Ryan Graves has been in recently in Colorado, like a plus 45, I think he had in the season?
Picked him up.
It's insane.
I picked him up last year, and it was a disgrace.
He doesn't help anywhere else,
No.
though. That's
I
the
play
issue.
in a hitting premium league. My guy Brandon Tanev, always a must draft. The guy
the
gets
forward.
like 4 hits a games.
Yeah.
He contributes on offense. I think with Seattle too, he's poised for an even bigger role. So he's a guy maybe closer to the 10th or 11th round I'd kind of start looking at. Right now I got 2 defensemen. I think I'm looking at Brent Burns. I don't want to take Brent Burns because that's always a trap I fall into, that older guy who just slips away a little bit. Usually I'd go with a guy like Evander Kane, but I'm going to take Elias Lindholm. Another guy can fill in my center slot, not necessarily a great face-off taker, but essentially just getting that extra winger into my centers.
Good big pick, for sure.
Heiskanen goes. See,
You hear them scheming over there.
Yeah,
to
they're
snipe
trying
me on
to-
my pick.
they're trying to plot a plan over there.
I know.
All right, let's see who Avery wants. Seems like his guy was taken there.
I feel like you wanted Samson
Seems
off.
like Avery, I'm guessing he's trying to target a goalie here, if I had to guess.
Jack
Campbell.
Campbell.
Oh, God.
Jack Campbell ahead of Peter Mrazek.
Oh, my God.
That is a tough one.
Okay, well, Chris Letang made it all the way back around to me. Then again, I see Jason Robertson here. Tough pick. If Jason Robertson gets some power play time, the ceiling is the
moon.
roof is the
Yeah.
moon. I'm gonna go with Tang though.
Remember you said at the
defense
start
spots.
of this episode that you weren't going to punt goalies?
Well, no, I don't. I don't wait until way late.
12th
in the draft. Yeah, I was gonna move that up from like 12th round probably to 8th round.
I won the goalies in round 3.
Yeah,
so it's just
well-
everybody else now is
Markstrom goes,
they all-
Binghamton goes. I am going to go another goalie here. I'm
Another
going to go
goalie.
Demko.
Holy crap!
I
Goalies are
do
flying.
like Demko. It's a good
I know
pick at 83.
Gianni loves Demko. I like him better than anyone who was drafted in that round there.
Maybe I'm punting goalies.
Honestly, I agree with that. Demko, like Bennington, Markstrom, he's going to get the same or more games, and I just see that team being better than the other ones listed.
Oh gosh, the goalies look horrendous that are left.
Radulov goes. I do not like that pick. I'm going to go with another centerman. Actually, I was gonna go Kopitar. Do like him in a categories league, but I'm gonna go like Drew said. I do like his upside.
Who's that?
Actually, it's rather Jason Robertson or Sam Bennett, and I'm gonna go Jason Robertson. Sam Bennett is, I think, a very good categories player this year.
This is why I don't mention the guys I'm about to take in the draft. Lesson out there for when you're doing your real draft and you're sitting around with your buddies. Don't mention any names of guys that you'd want to get later on.
Or throw out some names you think are busts to get them.
Yeah.
Get them
Strategically.
confused.
Strategically.
Guy I'm a little surprised is still up is
I'm
Mike
looking
Smith.
on the clock here. I have to either take, I guess, a goalie in Mackenzie Blackwood or a winger in Sam Reinhart.
Mackenzie Blackwood.
Man, I would not want Blackwood in the freaking categories league.
Okay, I'm going
you
Reinhart then.
You think Blackwood's going to play more games than Bernier?
Then who?
Jonathan Bernier.
Oh, I didn't know what the name was. You said it the first time.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I thought Dell was the backup. Am I wrong?
No, they got Bernier as like
He'll definitely
tandem.
start. Blackwood is the
Holy
future
crap.
of their goalie.
Avery's
tandem
going to
there.
struggle with some. Getting
What's
some
going
goalie-
on with
getting
Avery?
getting some goalie games in. Eh?
Spencer Knight.
I think Avery's just trolling our draft here.
They're still paying Bobrovsky that money, whether he's worth it or not. They
I
got
think,
to
I've been
play
saying.
I think at most you see Spencer Knight get like
Ooh.
50% of games this year, right?
way less.
Yeah.
He has probably 30 games at most.
I guess there's one stat here, one category that my mind is obsessing on, and it's plus minus. I refuse to take anyone with a projected minus next to their name, and I don't know. Like,
So I'm going to throw right around the opposite of that. I'm taking Drew Doughty.
oh jeez.
So you're punting plus minus almost.
Punting plus minus,
Okay.
punting, face-offs,
Yeah.
just kind of those stats it's almost out of the guy's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Where I don't want that I don't want that variance in my lineup where 1 week I'm losing because he happened to step on the ice and a goal was scored. I kind of want to know what my guys are doing. I think LA's gonna step up this year.
To be honest with you guys, I don't know who is good at face-offs. I know Bergeron and Barkov are good at face-offs, but I don't think I'm considering that category at all.
No, I think that category, I'm pretty much just looking at, do they play center?
Yeah.
If you
And
are,
how good the team is.
Ryan O'Reilly's a great face-off guy for fantasy.
You know what always shocks me is Ryan O'Reilly actually doesn't hit that much.
No,
No.
you think he's gritty
Yeah.
and he
Every
he
ti-
bangs around out
You
there.
know who
but he
does hit a
doesn't
lot?
not.
Tom Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Tom Wilson, Evander Kane, those type of guys in this league. I mean, don't draft Evander Kane this year. But in past years in categories leagues, they never go high enough.
Yeah.
Seems like the trend's being corrected with Brady Tkachuk.
So Sam Bennett, you think he's an 8th round pick? He goes in the 9th. If you want to make sure you get him, you probably need to pick him up in the 8th. It seems like.
He seems like a guy is kind of the reverse of what I'm doing. You put him at the left wing slot in your lineup and
True.
you bank
Yes.
those face-offs.
Yeah, that's good. I do agree.
I love my next pick if it doesn't get taken here. Okay, I'm going with Ivan Provorov, who for this type of league, 1 million blocks, 1 million hits,
He's
good for 15 goals.
Still no goalies, eh?
Plus minus. Yeah, still no goalies.
I'm interested to see how he maneuvers his way into 2 goalies here.
At this point, they're all crap that's left, so I'm just
Yeah.
going to go to the bargain bin here. In the next
Strategy
couple
I'm a
rounds.
little fond of is if you're picking near the turn, you
Go
just take
Kopitar.
take a mediocre platoon.
Yeah.
Just go right back to back. You take Campbell went already, but you go Campbell Mrazek,
Yeah.
and you just guarantee yourself games every night.
Yep, that's a good point. Still need a third guy in that case, though. I mean, there's some goalies here left. I'm looking at some good guys here on the board.
Who's left? Who are you looking at?
You guys are done with goalies, right? So
Yes.
I'm looking at Blackwood, Nedeljkovic, and Hart. I think I'm going to go with Hart with my
Hart's
next
not
pick.
bad.
Carter Hart's ranked way too low in my opinion.
Yeah.
I am going to go with. Oh, man, if I go Thomas Chabot here, I take a huge hit to my plus minus.
I saw that too, but have you built up any equity at plus minus with your last picks?
A little bit, but it's too late now. I drafted him.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is Chikrin, I don't think we'll have a great plus minus this
Yeah,
year.
that's fair.
I don't know about Kopitar, to be honest. I don't think so.
I'm going to jump on Carter Hart now, I think. Yeah. Bounce back here for Carter Hart.
All right. I like that pick. In the 10th round, I'm pretty surprised, actually, to be honest, that what is he, like the 14th goalie off the board, Carter Hart? Am I have that right? Something
Yeah.
about there? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Someone who just
Yeah.
went, who was just
15,
also in my
16.
queue. Mackenzie
Weegar,
Weegar.
I looked at that too.
I mean, you might not get the power play points, but you're gonna get the deep categories,
Well,
especially plus minus.
They
Yeah.
moved on from Yandel, so they might be looking at Weegar as the other QB on that.
You mean 2D? On
He's
the power
definitely,
play?
I think, going to be on PP too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But has Ekblad been effective as their power play 1 quarterback?
You could see Uyghur overtake that spot if there are issues.
Okay.
Where
I think that's what you said on a past pod, right?
Yeah, that's why I had. I think I'd just rather have Uyghur in the 10th and rather than pick Ekblad in the 5th. But I understand though, Ekblad went in the 4th here, but category leagues obviously is a little more important.
I hate this next pick, but I'm taking Zach Hyman. Hits just playing that top line with McDavid. He's gonna be a guy who finishes with more goals and assists. He's gonna end up on the power play. Just think the situation Edmonton's in, he's gonna have to get those minutes.
Yeah.
Popular sleeper pick this year for sure.
Also plays both wings. I always find that a premium if they can versatility in positions.
Yeah. What do you guys think of Tarasenko this year? Do we think he can come back to form?
How is he fitting into the culture in St. Louis? Have they forgiven him for demanding a trade?
Well, obviously, he's going to say that everything's good. But then again, he's been on that team for a long time. Like, there's a respect there about just what he's done for that team.
I mean, if he bounces back, then could be a league winner at his ADP.
I'm going to go with Kevin Fiala.
Oh, I love Kevin Fiala.
He had 40 points with Victor Rask as a center. He should be able to do a little bit more with fellow countryman Marco Rossi.
Oh,
both a couple Swiss fellas.
You know what? That's spicy. The Wild are kind of spicy. Kaprizov, Eriksson Ek, Fiala, Rossi. I don't know. I kind of like the Wild this year.
Avery.
I never liked the
Good
Wild.
pick,
I'll be honest.
Oh, geez, the goalies I wanted are still available.
Goalies are a tough one 'cause there's always just a run, and then everybody ignores them again, and then there's another run.
So I technically only have one center so far in Bergeron, so I'm going to take Couturier here. I think that's ranked way too low in these Yahoo draft lobbies.
That's a good pick. It's a good pick.
Burns goes.
Burns,
I don't know, man. That was a guy that was always just an automatic first-round pick for me before, and now it's...
Did you go with Burns?
I didn't.
Oh.
But I don't know. He's a scary player to go with these days.
Yeah. I am going to go with Matt.
That's a big offense pick.
I think that he's going to be that
Grzelcyk?
quarterback on the power play.
Grzelcyk?
Yeah.
So I convinced you on
Yes.
must draft defenseman?
Mm-hmm.
That's just like I see him. I think he is better for points lead than Katz, but I think he can still provide.
He does not hit. He
He's
does not block.
He's a
and
small
he
guy.
only starts shifts in the offensive zone.
Yeah, doesn't take a ton of shots either. He's definitely more of like a facilitator.
Yeah. But power play points are power play points, and they count for multiple categories.
I'm going to go with the guy who shoots a ton. That's Line A.
Banking on a big bounce back from him.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was still available.
No, he was low on this list. Like, he was like rated as the 14th right winger left. I think that's still crazy for a guy who could put up. Like, it wouldn't be, I guess it wouldn't shock everyone, but if he put up 40 goals this year, everyone would be like, oh, he's back.
Yeah, there's a big thing with him where he said he doesn't have anything left to prove, but I think he kind of has to remind people where he was.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take Nedeljkovic. I don't really trust the Detroit defense, but I trust his ability in the net.
It's a lot of shots.
Yeah, he'll get a lot of saves.
Their defense got a little better this offseason, too. They pick up Letty.
Yep.
They're going to have Cedar in the lineup.
Yep. Cider, I think.
Cider?
Yeah. We're all about pronunciations here, apparently. I mean, with saves being a category, if he's going to play a majority of games and face 40 shots a night.
Yeah.
Save percentage, too, just you might be a little risky on, Darlene went shit. My eyes on Darlene. Going with my backup option, Justin Falk. He's a guy I had last year in fantasy. Took him really late, but he's got a surprising amount of hits last year and blocks.
Doesn't he have a great plus minus? Or am I mistaken?
Who's
Justin
that?
Oh, he was
Falk?
+8 last year.
Justin,
no, was he?
What
was
Justin
he?
Falk?
Justin Falk was plus 11 last year.
That's pretty good. St. Louis team who wasn't that good.
Do you think St. Louis is going to be better outside of that like shitty Pacific Division? I could see them like just missing the playoffs or like just making it as a wild card.
I could see that too.
That Central Division, honestly, like it's Colorado and then everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. Malkin goes on the 13th.
It's injuries.
Kenzie
Who knows
Blackwood.
there?
Okay, I'm taking another goalie. Going with my boy Cal Peterson.
Good pick.
Really underrated. My only worry is if Quick plays kind of well,
Yep.
then Peterson's going to lose the net just because of cap or just because of whatever. But
I guess so.
he's definitely that team's future number one.
Cal Peterson.
Yeah.
So a stat, I think we've mentioned this before, that the Kings had the least back-to-back games. So if he is the starter, he'll probably start a lot more games than most goalies.
I didn't know that, but I'll pretend that I did.
Okay, my next pick I'm liking, as long as it's not sniped, because I don't have a backup plan, and that's probably going to jinx me. It is not been sniped, so I'm going Timo Meier. Lots of shots, lots of hits, could bounce back, and goals and assists, and I have built up quite a bit of equity in plus-minus to have a guy that's going to be a liability there.
Yeah. I mean, unless he gets traded.
Then that'd be better.
Yeah. Goaltender I'm surprised is still up is Mike Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to carry that workload.
That's my guy. I'm an Oilers fan.
I am going to go with...
Do I think he's going to have that goals against and save percentage again? No, I do not. But he's still a good guy.
Should get a lot of wins, though.
John Gibson's still floating out there because of how bad Anaheim is. But I'll probably take him with my next pick if he's still there.
Laugh. Hey, that's a big bet on him.
Yeah, I think he's just so talented, and I feel like not enough people are talking about like him in general and what to expect this year in his second year now. Like he was just like, what they were comparing him to Crosby when he was coming out.
I think it's because they played for the same major junior team. But
All the Rimouski boys.
I think he
Yeah.
has a big bounce back here.
Oceanic.
They're building that team around him. I am going to go with...
I haven't taken a fifth defender.
Let's go with a goalie here. Let's go John Gibson.
Look at these.
I love John Gibson as a third goalie in this type of scenario.
Yeah.
I think you can
Well,
just...
did you snipe? You sniped me.
You were going to pick John
I said,
Gibson?
yeah, John Gibson's going to be the next pick.
Oh.
Fuck. All right, well,
Now you're very low in goalie.
scrambling.
Anders Lee, he's actually... I like him too in category leagues.
Jamie Benn bounce back or Oliver Borkstrand breakout?
I was looking at Ben for the Ben Sagan stack, but
Okay, then I'm sniping you and taking Ben.
shit. Got to do a little bit more research. now.
Lots of hits there, too. Not as much shots, but hits. And this is a guy that went top 5 for a couple of years in fantasy drafts.
Yeah.
He's still, 30, 31. He should be okay.
If he can stay healthy, then I think he'll be really good. It's just they don't really have great depth on the left wing. They got him and Robertson pretty much, and then it falls off. So
Yep.
should have a pretty safe spot.
Yep. I'm kind of screwed at goalie, guys, not going to lie. Hopefully I can carry the other categories. But, yeah, if you are in a Cats league, definitely consider goalie a lot earlier than points leagues. I would still not recommend 2 in the first 4 rounds, but you do you, Gianni.
I'm going to go with Rasmus Ristolainen.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Always like him in Cats leagues. I think that maybe because he was the number 1 D in Buffalo, he just always racked everything up. And maybe behind Ellis and Provorov, he might not get as much. But you get to the point where you're in the 14th round. He's a guy that he's got boom bust potential. If he busts, I'm kind of comfortable dropping him at this point. But I just think for this value, as my 5th defenseman, it's not a bad pick.
Odinger was going to be my next pick that just got selected. Shoot. What position are you guys looking at with your next pick?
I think defense here. I'm trying to look for a guy that...
There's so many guys now that do everything.
Yeah, I think just looking for...
I only have 2 guys currently playing the center spot. So I kind of put myself in a little bit of a pickle here. Kind of like Jared McCann.
Okay.
I think that move to Seattle
Could be the William Karlsson of the Kraken.
Exactly.
Could be the guy that goes from third line to star.
He had fantastic analytics on Pittsburgh. He plays both ends of the ice well. I think he's going to be a guy who's really leaned on.
Yep. Now, this is where you're looking for blocks at defense.
Guy who I'm looking to pick here is potentially Jacob Trouba.
Yep.
Gets a lot of shots, gets a lot of blocks, especially since I have Grzelcyk.
Borkstrand made it back around. Going Borkstrand here, I think 30 goals is in reach. Lots of shots, but nothing special in terms of the other categories.
Actually, look at that Gudas pick by Avery. He was the guy I was looking at.
Lots of hits, that's for sure.
Hits and blocks.
Might not be clean, but
he gets it done.
Yeah. I am going to go, like I said, I am going to go Trouba.
You're not concerned at all playing behind Fox?
I don't think that's why I drafted him. Like, I don't really care about the points too much here, because looking at like getting Grzelcyk, like he's pretty much just a point guy for me. So I could have punted it and done another offensive defenseman, but looking at the board, like there's not really any defenseman that I really like that will actually get me consistent points.
I see one defenseman left, and if he doesn't get taken here in 3 picks.
Just kind of looking at your team, I think Trouba's gets a bit different cats than the rest of your team.
Mm-hmm. That's an issue where it's like, should I have just punted blocks?
Snipe Tanev off my board.
So considering this isn't going to be an auto pick, I think I'm going to get my guy, and it's going to be Ryan Pulock of the Islanders.
That's a good pick too.
Some goals, some plus minus, some shots, and some hits. It's not going to blow anybody away, but he's going to fill out a lot of the categories. And only 7 picks left in the draft.
Are you targeting Tanev?
I was
last round.
I was going to
Chris.
Brandon Tanev. I love Brandon Tanev is a fantastic fantasy player.
Yeah, for categories.
Do you think that
if you played a hitting premium league
in points,
yeah,
then he could be. Yeah,
he could be. He's a guy I took last year in like just his regular season long, and he actually provided good enough value that like I had to roster him all season.
Do you think that his value goes up with the Kraken?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I have essentially punted goalie for this draft.
After what did you say in the first round?
I said you need to look a little bit closer at goalies.
Okay. Third last pick of the draft. I'm gonna take Podkolzin.
Oh,
big rookie. I could see him being a net front guy on the power play, just getting a lot of just dirty goals. He's gonna end up with just a lot of shots on net. Maybe gets a few hits here and there, but get to the end of the draft again. You kind of just want to take those guys that are boom bust. You don't want to take somebody who's 100%. Safe.
Yeah,
this Yahoo Standard League only has 4 bench spots too. If there was more bench spots, like a typical league, definitely take more risks.
Yeah.
Okay. How do we feel about our teams? We'll keep it quick. I feel good.
First.
We can. I think that I didn't really target one sort of category. I kind of went all over the place. I would pretty much call my team like a balanced team. I think plus minus, I'm there. Thomas Chabot is the only really big liability. Maybe Jacob Chicken, like Arizona, should be terrible. So I think I took the more balanced approach here. I don't know what you drew.
I started with Ovechkin and Tkachuk. So goals, hits, and shots right off the board. Pivoted to Bergeron with the plus-minus face-off percentage, and then, again, play on that line, he'll get some points as well. And then I went with the power play quarterbacks, and I think that's what's key on defense, like I say in pretty much every episode. Yossi, Theodore, and Letang, you need guys that man power play 1 at defense in order to keep up and maximize those offensive spots. Punted goalie, which will probably kill me, but it's not a real league. It's a mock draft, and I've learned from my next Cats league to not wait so long on goalies.
Went the opposite road.
Yeah.
2 goalies first 3 rounds. Personally, I think Vasilevsky and Hellebuck are the 2 best goalies, especially
over Kemper.
I don't know. Kemper just seems like a guy, he gets injured or he's not going to be able to carry a 60-game workload consistently.
Okay.
Hellebuck's does that every year. Defense isn't that great. Gets a lot of shots. Definitely focused on shots, hits, blocks. Went for those more gritty ones. Punted a lot of like plus minus ticky tacky things, but definitely happy with my team.
Okay. All right. That's our teams. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and make sure you smash that like button.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys next week.